then over the years, which was about 7 years in, I started to realise, wow, you know, there's this ominous Cape Coast fortress. You know, there's slave forts all along the west coast of Africa. But because I'd been in Ghana so many times, you know, I always did a trip to the Cape Coast, well, castle or fortress. It's quite a contentious issue, what you call it. There's also the Elmina Castle as well. But, you know, these are all, they're slave dungeons, you know. It's pretty hideous as a human being to go there. And it's like, my God, did we do this to each other? You know, what is this in our humanity? So it had a profound effect on me. And also, you know, my son Emmanuel, he did not travel with me to Ghana that year, but a very big, significant incident happened in the Cape Coast castle where a lot of African Americans were in the little tour guide that I was doing. And, you know, I really sensed and felt their anguish and their sense of, just their anger. And it was something where I thought, oh, gosh, you know, I really want to do something. I felt a very big compulsion to share with my culture here in Australia and the rest of the world, because I have shown my film Children of the Blue Light all around, you know, different parts of the world. But basically this film that I made was a performance ritual where I had Asante dance theatre, drummers and dancers, and then I had Wild Moves International drummers and dancers, and I painted everybody blue so that you couldn't really tell who was black, who was white, but the blue is very significant also of healing. So I felt a very big push and compulsion to go into every space that I possibly could, and with the music and dance that we choreographed and composed together with Wild Moves and with the Asante Dance Theatre, and Agro Theatre Company they were doing the production and the filming. And we were actually in a slave dungeon. So whether it's the male slave dungeon or the female slave dungeon, but through our bodies, through the music and through the dance and the choreography, we could give a different perspective to the tourists who were coming into the Cape Coast Castle, so that as the tour guide, the Ghanaian tour guide, was telling the story of the transatlantic slave trade and what happened in this slave dungeon, we weren't so much reenacting his narrative, we were just being present and showing what it must have been like to be viewed as a commodity, to be chosen, to be looked at, and how abusive that was. But also I showed with the blue light as a way, with our blue bodies, inviting, you know, this way of looking at our bodies as beautiful, as amazing beings that can bring about healing through music and dance. Doesn't matter if that's in the past, in the present, but we did this to bring the past to the present, so that in hope of a future that we never ever have this in our culture ever again. And this is what I loved about Ghanaian people, particularly in the way that the Cape Coast Castle is curated. You know, it's a real celebration of resistance, you know, like this will not happen again. And let's just celebrate this grief. Let's celebrate our capacity for resistance. And it's same with the kingfisher, you know, this is a dance of grief. but let's celebrate the fact that we have this capacity to live in hope and do something about it. So that's why I felt so compelled to do Children of the Blue Light, is to use music and dance in a contemporary way, but with honouring the tradition of the dance, the Ghanaian traditional dances, and also the celebration of the rock, because the rock and the land where the fortress is built on, you know, is this incredible rock. So it's about honouring and connecting ourselves to that rock, to that natural monument that's there, and creating a sacred space so that the audience could go on a journey and see the importance of how important it is for us as individuals to ensure that our next generation dispels racism, that there's actually no need for it, that we can all operate as one. We're all human beings. We all have a human body, you know, where our body is capable of healing itself, you know, and if we use the arts in a way where we can share this in a very non-threatening way, you know, you can, I found that the tourists in the end, what they did was they were invited to join in the celebration dance at the end. And so in the film, that's what you see. You know, the banker comes down in his lunch break and joins in. There's a mother with a baby on her back. She joins in. You know, there's a guy from Barbados, a Rasta man with the long dreadlocks. He just jumps in. There's a German tourist who said, oh, this is amazing. I've never seen anything like this before. She jumps in, and people are feeling elated that we're all dancing together as one. And so when we have this shared experience, you know, you can move mountains. When we have this shared experience of sacred space and honouring traditional culture and the land, you can put a stop to, not a stop, but you can at least alert people to the importance of reconciliation and celebrating life.